It's Duncan, and welcome to the first episode of the Squishy Dudes podcast. I am joined here with my good buddy
Julian,
and we are going to discuss Avengers Endgame in this episode. This is the first episode, and it's been a long process. We originally wanted this to be a gameplay thing. Didn't really turn out the way we wanted it.
we didn't have the kind of right equipment for it.
Right? Yeah. Just and I think it was just mainly a timing thing, really. But we're here. And I think that this is gonna be fun.
Hope you guys been hyped for this.
Yeah. Like I said, Avengers Endgame, and to celebrate the first episode, we're gonna just introduce ourselves, and we're gonna, since we are underage, we can't pop a bottle of champagne. We're gonna pop Welch's sparkling non-alcoholic grape juice cocktail because we are underage.
Don't ask. It's fine.
It's fine. Yeah. We're gonna open this up. You guys already know me from the Squishy Dudes channel. But Julian, you don't really know much about. Julian, maybe
I'm a newcomer on this adventure.
Yeah, introduce yourself. What you into?
I'm a very similar man to Duncan. I don't know how much you know about him, but
They don't know. I mean, in my like videos, I tend to just kind of play a character.
AKA Kyle.
Yeah, well, I mean, with Kyle, that was kind of just like a little experiment. I just got home from school and I was just like.
Decided to play weirdo man.
Did pickles.
Eating sour pickles.
And I just want to, have a character to play. So I was just like... And then, as it was uploading... Or, no, not as it was uploading, but, right as I, finished editing it, I was just like... What should we name this guy? And just, what? Kyle. Whatever. It just kind of popped in my head. Yeah. But they don't know really much about my personal interests, really.
Oh, I haven't told them yet.
I don't know. It's just not the kind of channel
How many videos have you made, actually?
I think we recently just hit around, I think 30-something, maybe. Or no, I mean, it doesn't feel like that much. I think it was 20, maybe.
I wasn't involved in a single one of those.
I mean, you were there when I was doing those TikTok compilations, remember?
Well, this is different.
Alright, and it's a twist off. It's not a cork to pop, but...
It's not the smackaroo.
Smell that. It smells good.
It smells like, what is it? It smells like the jelly I used to put on my PB&Js.
Nice. And don't take a sip yet, because I want to do cheers. Cheers. And let's not drink all this. I want to save some for later tonight.
I know.
We're getting wild and crazy. No, but let's raise our glasses full of the non-alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
To Squishy Dudes.
Squishy Dudes.
All right.
Tastes like
so, Julian, why don't you introduce yourself? What are your interests?
Well, as you know, my name is Julian.
Mm-hmm.
I go to the same school as this man over here.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to name that. That would be the last time.
Of course, not for you creepos out there.
We all know who we are. Whatever.
Julian, do you want to talk to me about something?
No. Stop it. I don't like you.
Julian, this is an intervention.
Stop it. You're scaring me. Okay, so...
Let's move that out of the way.
I like Star Wars, Legos, Marvel. Kind of got in that recently.
Marvel, you're not a long time.
I'm not a long time. It's fairly recent, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I
know most of the plot about some.
I've been a long time Marvel fan. I have a big stack of comics in my drawer, and.
You're a collector yourself.
I don't really. I'm not the biggest fan of collecting comics. I like getting just a series and reading it. I like collecting things like Blu-ray DVDs and video games.
Yeah. And
amiibos and such.
Another thing that me and him also have in common is we both have Switches, although I got mine a lot after
No, not a lot.
2 months after.
Two
months after his, but even though I wanted mine first.
Right, yeah. I mean, yeah, we're both huge Nintendo fans, and, you were really into the... Not really into, but you were a part of the Wii U generation.
Yeah.
That was the one I missed out on.
I was the late coming to that one.
I should probably
Alright.
silence my phone in the future. Alright, hold on just a second. Sorry about that, guys. Call from my dad. In the future, I should silence my phone. But as we were saying, we're both huge Nintendo fans.
Huge Lego fans, huge Star Wars fans, pretty Marvel fans.
Basically,
a lot of things in common.
Think of the nerd stereotype, and we pretty much fill everything.
Yeah, our school has nothing but stereotypes in it.
Yeah, I mean...
Everyone fits in a group.
everyone there, yeah.
No, I don't like it.
But I think we're saying you were part of the Wii U era of
Yes.
Nintendo. I was more. I had the Wii. I was big in the Wii. I enjoyed the Wii a lot.
I joined the Wii U pretty much either the year before or like just about the same year the Switch came out. And
Right, yeah.
and I was busy playing the Wii up until like I eventually got my Switch, and then the Wii U became a storage collectible.
The Wii U, yeah. I missed out on a lot of good games in the Wii U, mainly the HD Zelda remakes.
But those hopefully will come to the Switch. And if you guys don't know, there is a new Zelda coming, Link's Awakening,
Yes.
coming to the Switch later.
I'm excited for that because
Yes.
I haven't played a classic like, it's not 2D, but it's like top down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
top down view.
Also, there was a rumor, and I really, really hope it's true. Skyward Sword for the Switch with better controls, because you've played Skyward Sword.
Yes,
I haven't.
The reason I didn't like it is because motion controls. But then again, the Wii, it was really good with it.
I think it would be better with like
Joy-Cons.
the Joy-Cons because
Joy-Cons are much better with
they have like really good motion
HD
controls.
Rumble.
HD Rumble
HD
and
Rumble.
perfected motion controls.
Yeah.
I hear this a lot. The Wii like kind of like started the motion controls, and then
Yes.
then there was the Motion Control Plus, which is like the thing that you would add on.
Yeah, Motion Control Plus, or like when it's like built into the Wii remote, is a lot better.
It was built in with the Wii U, like the black Wii remotes
Yeah.
that you have. You have those.
Yes.
And then the Joy-Cons are like perfect. They're really fun for games like Mario Party and stuff. So that's
pretty much it with talking about ourselves. So
yeah.
in a little,
I think we should. I think we've introduced ourselves well enough. I think we should
go ahead and get started on the Avengers.
Yeah. So we are going to be reviewing Avengers Endgame. We're a bit late on it, but scheduling and such. So we're going to do the first part, spoiler free, and we are gonna give a big warning when spoilers are gonna start. For those of you who have still been able to not see it and avoid spoilers somehow at this point.
I mean, I'm surprised I lasted so long with myself, but then again...
I mean, you saw it... Oh, wait, funny story about this. Julian saw... I saw Endgame, I think, because I was in New York, and then I came back that weekend, and we saw Endgame the Sunday, because I remember with Infinity War, we saw it on the Sunday before... like, the Sunday of the weekend it came out, because... I learned from Infinity War that you need to do that if you were in a middle school or high school setting.
I had that problem because
people will spoil that movie.
AKA Kevin.
Yeah, our good buddy Kevin's ruined Infinity War for
every character who died in that game. Whoops, I got movies mixed up. Everyone who died in that movie got spoiled for me. And that was not fun. I tried avoiding spoilers as best I could and couldn't last out a whole week.
Spoilers for Infinity War. I'm just going to give a quick example if you still haven't seen Infinity War. So, an example of this would be, like, we'd get in class, and I remember, like, we did a Kahoot or something, and it would be, like, Spider-Man dies! Or, like, just kids in the hallway screaming, Spider-Man is dead, man! What are we gonna do now, man?
Squidward dies.
Squidward got inked in Endgame.
I didn't understand the joke because I didn't see Infinity War, so I didn't know who Squidward was.
How did you not know who Squidward was?
Because I didn't see the movie, or
you don't know Squidward?
I didn't know who Squidward. Like, I didn't know why you're making that joke about Squidward dying. They're just making a joke. I didn't know it was like actually in the movie.
I was just like I learned who Squidward was from Infinity War. Sorry about the ice clanking noise.
You can't enjoy and drink without ice.
I mean, it depends. I mean, sometimes it'll hurt my teeth. Like,
well, you have braces and I don't.
No, I mean, the braces don't affect how, like, sensitive my teeth are, you know?
Well, I'm sorry. I don't know what I've been eating
Julian, I've had enough of you, man. I'm choking on ice. I've had it up to here, man.
I've been eating ice all my life. I don't want to hear it.
Well, you're a sweet, sweet Southern boy who likes a lot of ice in his iced tea. Yeah, so we're getting off topic. So
back to
Avengers Endgame, spoiler-free review. We're gonna just be discussing stuff like, what we thought, opinions, just saying general stuff without giving stuff away. And then for the spoiler section, we're just gonna give a complete plot synopsis. We're going to be discussing certain characters. Oh, I know, right? Certain characters.
Make me sad.
and just more detailed for the spoiler section. So we're gonna give a big big warning whenever we get to that part. But here is the spoiler-free section. All right, so spoiler-free Endgame. What'd you think?
I felt it was pretty good. I enjoyed the movie.
How would you compare it to other Marvel films?
Well, let's compare it to another one that's very similar to this. Well, not similar. Like, let's compare it to Infinity War. I felt Infinity War was a little bit better in the sense that it wasn't really boring at certain bits. Like, in this movie, there was a couple chunks within the movie that felt a little boring to me.
Right. Yeah. With Infinity War, I agree completely. Like, Infinity War was, they didn't really waste any time. It was just like a complete, every minute meant something, and you stayed invested. And with Endgame, there was like I think like the second hour mainly, it kind of loses me.
To me, I feel like this thing is split into 3 separate sections within each hour. I'm not gonna talk about it just yet because we'll wait till our plot review to talk about that.
Right, but yeah, I think I've heard you said this before, and it's basically the spoiler-free version of it is there's the first part, which is it's not it's kind of it's slow-paced, but it's not boring. Then there's the second part, which is kind of like kind of slower and has fan service, and there's like little like tidbits, like there's kind of like in a good example is in The Last Jedi. I almost said Return of the Jedi. In The Last Jedi, there's some parts it would like cut from different people, like it would cut from Rose and Finn, and then it would cut back to Kylo, and it would cut to Rey. So
it's 4 separate cuts it does throughout the movie.
So for that movie, there were parts when it would be focused on Finn, and I would just the whole time I'd just be like I'd be wanting it to cut back to Rey and Kylo,
Yeah, like anything, or the big battle that's been going on in space.
Some parts are more, appealing than others, and for Infinity War, I can't really say that,
because each moment has a little bit of action to it and a nice little callback to something else.
Yeah, and for Endgame, it was like, they were split up into a team, different groups, and I was just like, go back to these guys, I was like, I wasn't, I obviously didn't say that out loud, but in my head I was just like, hey, I wonder what these guys are doing. Probably more interesting than this.
I'm talking about like when I went to go see the movie, which was last Sunday actually, because I saw it a week later actually in the movie theater.
Right, because you watched it before
online to avoid spoilers.
Right, yeah.
I wasn't making the same mistake again.
Like a bootleg, like Somalian copy online.
I'm not gonna go into details about that.
What website was it? Does it start with here? You don't say it, but does it start with a K? Because
yes.
I don't want to.
Same website we've been using.
I don't want to endorse
a pirated website.
Piracy, because I really I believe that the film industry deserves all the support it can get.
Yeah.
And it is, film is my favorite art form, and I believe that it should be respected and treated as such. Yes. That's why it always bugs me whenever all these remakes are coming out. Yeah. Like people tend to forget that movies are art. You
can't really just you can't say like I'm gonna recreate Mona Lisa and be as popular as Leonardo da Vinci.
Exactly. Yes, but so just. What else do you think about it? One more thing. We were saying how the first 2 hours are kind of like,
Well, the first hour wasn't so bad.
Yeah, the second hour is where it dipped a bit.
Well, I feel like, okay, so 20 minutes in is, pretty good. And, for a little bit after that, it gets a little dull. And then, when they start doing, the action scene where they all split off, it gets really...
opening scene is pretty...
Opening scene,
I love it.
And then, later in the movie, and, the last hour is, I'm not gonna say what Duncan says about it. A little joke he's been making.
What was it? The last hour?
Yeah, the last hour you think.
Oh, yeah, I'll say it. I don't care. Yeah, the last hour.
There's kids on the show?
Are there really?
Yeah, they'd learn eventually.
Yeah, no, Here, let's put it briefly. The last hour, if you're a fan of any Marvel film, it will give you a nerdgasm like that. It is so awesome.
I'm gonna quote Duncan. He says, the last hour it made me cream my pants. No joke, that's exactly what he said.
He's not wrong. I mean, I think the last hour, that scene is without a doubt, in my opinion, the greatest scene in all of Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah, I say it. While Endgame isn't like the best movie by far.
It's pretty. It's top pretty high.
It's good. It's like the second. No, it's like the third best Avengers movie.
It's on like at least top
I rank.
three.
Yeah, here's how I rank the Avengers movies. I rank them. Number 1 is Infinity War, best Avengers movie. Second is the original, like the 2012 Avengers.
Yes.
The third is Endgame, and the fourth is Ultron.
Yeah, we'll get down to that. We'll worry about that later.
Right. Yeah, but first 2 hours kind of dull. Last hour, best thing ever.
Well, for 3 hours of movie, it does pack quite a bit in there, and they can't exactly like rush everything together because this is kind of like ending it all off. You can't exactly have like, too much action as Infinity.
I kind of feel like they shouldn't have done 3 hours because I mean a lot of the negative comments from reviewers were criticizing the part that we're criticizing, the first 2 hours.
I didn't really mind it too much. I liked the 2 hours. I just wish they could have done a little bit more with it.
Yeah, no, I didn't hate it. You know, I enjoyed the movie, you know, and I wasn't like, you know, falling asleep bored.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, it wasn't as good as it could have been.
Quick side conversation. Does that kind of makes me like the little picture in the top right looks sort of like Vision, like with the little yellow, like the Mind Stone in his head?
What do you
like right there?
Oh yeah. You can see the picture on screen.
It's gonna be throughout the entire video.
Yeah, it's just a still image.
Get used to
the
it.
top right kind of looks like Vision, kind of like looking down with the Mind Stone.
Yeah.
You know, right behind the.
I just kind of noticed that now.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. Yeah. So anything else you gotta say that is spoiler free without ruining these people's movie going experience?
Not really too
much. There's a lot to spoil. You know?
Yeah, like we're just gonna be like jam packing you in this last little bit of this.
Yeah. You know, I really enjoy what they did with trying to prevent spoilers. You know, by the trailer. Like if you look at Spider-Man.
Far From Home.
No, not Far From Home. Homecoming. That trailer pretty much like revealed and ruined kind of the entire movie.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really like too much to give away. Just kind of like you could watch the trailer and be like, okay, cool, I've seen the movie.
Oh yeah, if you haven't seen, all right, word of advice, if you haven't seen Spider-Man Far From Home or the Avengers Endgame, see Endgame first because Far From Home gives away spoilers of Endgame.
Yeah, and they
like you'll be able to notice them.
Tom Holland says it at the beginning.
Like you said, Tom Holland's the guy who plays Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I mean it's kind of the same thing with the Into the Far From Home trailer because it kind of like gives away everything. Like I already know Rey Mysterio is going to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Rey Mysterio, by the way, sidetrack. I love Rey Mysterio so much.
Yeah, but like when I saw the trailer, I always thought like I feel like he's gonna be like the pop-up surprise bad guy in the end.
No, well, I mean, I already knew that, and it kind of hints at it more in the new trailer that came out just a couple days ago. But I love Rey Mysterio. He's my favorite Spider-Man villain of all time, in the comics and in the movies because he's finally in a movie for once. I've been wanting Rey Mysterio, or not Rey. Have I been saying Rey Mysterio this whole time?
Yes.
Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is a wrestler.
I'm wondering who you've been talking about.
Yeah, no. Mysterio.
Who's this Rey Man?
Yeah, I love Mysterio. He's my favorite Spider-Man villain of all time. And, I'm glad to finally see him in the movie.
This is how you know we clearly don't have a script for this video.
You're not supposed to script podcasts,
Yeah, some people do.
No. I mean, the first couple of episodes they do, and then they're just like, wait, this is not right at all. Because it just doesn't sound natural,
Yeah.
So, I think that's about it for spoiler-free.
It comes from the heart.
It comes from our soul. Oh.
Okay, stop.
All right.
Let's get on the show.
All right. Let's get back to business. Spoiler time. Wait, is it spoiler? You want to go and spoil it?
Let's
Because I need to know to do the alarm.
Sure, let's do it.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Spoilers! Spoilers! Spoilers!
Please watch.
Watch the movie. All right, it's spoiler time. All right,
Yay,
so
my favorite part of the video.
My favorite part. Iron Man dies. How about that?
Well, I haven't seen the movie yet. It's all your fault.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm living a lie.
Oh yeah, I actually got spoiled on that. That's the only thing I was spoiled on.
By who?
By my sister.
Oh, your sisters.
She got spoiled, and then she had spoiled for me. And then
Wait, when did she find out? I thought you watched it before she did.
I watched it like... Okay, so it was like I think it was like the day. I think it was on that Friday after it came out. Then she told me.
You watched it on Friday?
No. I saw it I thought on like Sunday. I saw it on like Sunday.
Wait. So how did she know?
Because her friend told her, and her friend probably saw like at 12 o'clock.
What a poopy head, am I right? Up top, brother. Yes! That's how real men high five!
You flipped to the microphone.
Dang right I did. High five, audience.
Stop talking like your Cuphead.
That's not my Cuphead voice. This is my Cuphead voice, you see?
Shut up.
Sorry.
Stop. Focus. Come on. Back in track.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
We talk about the spoilers.
No. So, let's do
plot summary.
Let's do a quick plot synopsis, shall we?
All right.
Let's just do a plot synopsis.
Let's you start off how this movie goes.
Okay, so as you see in the trailer, Tony Stark is in space after the battle on Titan from Infinity War with Nebuliscus. Excuse me, that is her full name, Nebuliscus.
No.
I'm making all this up.
It is Nebula. Get it right.
Nebuliscus the Third, the daughter of Thanos. Oh, real quick before we get into it, people like to argue about how to pronounce Thanos. I say Thanos. But the argument is Thanos or Thanos.
Everyone, even in the movie,
that's what I'm saying.
Thanos.
Like in the movie, they even say Thanos.
It's mostly Thanos with a lot of majority of people.
Thanos. Thanos is coming. No, it's Thanos. No. If you say Thanos, you're an idiot, and you should probably stop listening to this right now.
Well.
Just kidding. We need support.
I don't need your support in a second, because I'm about to faint from your craziness. You've been doing this entire video?
No, this isn't a video, Joanne. It's a podcast.
It's the same difference.
No. Different, same.
I'm done.
Alright, cool. Plot synopsis. So, Iron Man is in space with Nebuliscus, and they are, the only two survivors, and they're playing paper football, which I think is really sweet, and Nebula's kind of becoming more of...
A people person?
And she's starting
more social.
to like people, maybe? I wish I could say the same. So, anyway.
No, we're not doing this. Turn off this.
Turn it off. No, we're done. We just get into like a legitimate fist fight, and we forget to turn it off. So all you hear is, ow!
As your all break.
And then we come back like nothing happened. Like, sorry about that, guys. Just a little hiccup in the road there. It's like
hiccup in the road.
Jordan's like, and it was like, if you ever cross me again, if our paths ever intersect again, I will have no choice but to just show no mercy. Oh no, Joanne, please don't do this to our audience.
Our audience loves it.
No, they do not.
How much would it bet that half people there are all ASMR fans?
Half of one person.
Exactly. Half that person is ASMR fan.
Well, I mean, if Samara's listening to it, she ASMR.
I mean,
shout out to Samara. Her YouTube channel is Samara is Gay. That's actually her YouTube channel name.
She actually has a YouTube channel?
Yeah. Look, I'll show you right now.
No. After the
it's
podcast.
It's legitimately called Samara.
After the podcast.
It's a great name, Samara. It's
back to the podcast.
It's terrible. It's so terrible. She can't hear us. She's stupid.
I'm gonna tell Samara this one.
We're just kidding. I love you, Samara.
No, you don't.
You're right.
You do not love her. She does not love you.
Just messing around, man. No. We are getting off topic, and it is all your fault, and I hate you, and I'm going to kill you.
Is this what you do on a podcast? You get off topic as crazy.
Yes. No. So, Nebuliscus and Iron Man get saved by Captain Marvel.
We are not. I'm not calling her Nebuliscus.
I like saying Nebuliscus.
No. Call her by her actual name.
So Captain Marvel saved Nebuliscus and Rian Man.
I'm gonna talk about Captain Marvel and how much she does nothing.
Have you seen Captain Marvel?
I've not seen the movie. I'm talking about like in Endgame, she doesn't do.
I mean, we'll talk about like the specific characters after
like what
the
exactly they do.
So they take them back to Earth, and
she takes them back to Earth.
Yeah, and Tony is upset about losing everyone there with him except for Nebuliscus.
Mostly Spider-Man.
Yeah,
as he was sort of a surrogate son to him.
Pretty much.
As you do.
Vocabulary on this one.
It's what I call it.
Yes. So we have he's obviously mourning the loss of
And the current survivors on
or just
Earth.
the original Avengers. You can literally see them on your screen right now.
Yeah, like everyone there is basically
Everyone on your screen, those are the survivors.
except for like Ant-Man's gonna come back a little later in the movie.
Yeah. So basically Ant-Man is really important. Oh, we forgot about the opening scene.
Yeah. Oh, there's an opening scene where
it's-
Hawkeye is teaching his daughter. I can't remember the exact name. I'm sorry. I don't know that much about Marvel. Don't yell at me, guys.
Her name is.
You don't even know it either.
Hold on. Her name is. Drop my phone. That's her name.
Ah, you're stupid.
Yeah. No. So she's teaching her son how to be a man.
He's teaching her daughter. His daughter.
He is teaching her daughter how to be a man. Penis growing.
Basically archery.
Yes. Yeah. He's teaching his daughter archery.
And as she gets a solid bullseye,
Ooh.
Hawkeye goes and looks at. I can't remember.
He goes to retrieve the arrow.
No, he tells her to go retrieve the arrow.
Yeah, right.
And then he like turns around and then he turns back around. And like I actually noticed this when I actually saw when I saw the movie. A lot of actuals here.
Mm-hmm.
Like you saw like her little particles floating away and then
Dusties.
all the dusties.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna get all over your
That
farm.
was a very emotional scene.
And Hawkeye has a breakdown, and you'll see him later in the movie.
Yeah. So Tony's back on Earth as well as Nebuluscus, and Rocket is also on Earth. You know.
Well, he's been there.
He's been there, right?
For 28 days specifically.
This is 20 days after.
20 days after Thanos made his 6 snapperoo.
And so they're in there, and then they find out that Thanos has used the stones again, and so they're just like, hey, why not? And to quote Captain America here, he is the biggest hypocrite in the MCU. Do you not recall in Age of Ultron, whenever they're like doing their little mission, and then I can't remember who, but someone says a naughty word, and he's like, language. So in this movie, he's like, let's get that son of a bitch.
Language.
Julian.
Smack you with the shield.
No.
Don't make me do it again.
No, don't.
Duncan, focus. Let's talk about.
You're the one slapping me in the face.
Let's get back into
Julian,
topic.
Are you holding a knife? Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here. He has a knife.
No, it's my my wrench.
Oh, what are you gonna use that for?
Fixing my car, even though I don't drive.
Wait a minute.
My bicycle. That I don't own.
Julian?
That I stole. Off myself. Belly tap.
That was not a belly tap. That was a belly destroy.
Slappy dude.
No. Anyway, they see that he uses stones again, and Captain America's like, let's go get this SOB.
No. Captain Marvel suggests that she's gonna do it on her own, and she has friends who can help her locate it.
War Machine is just like, yeah, you're clearly new to the superhero game because we work as a team, and she's like, I am the team. And then they all go there, and they pin him down pretty easily, and he's just like, I used the stones to destroy the stones. And
I don't know how that works.
And then, I mean,
movie logic.
it's infinite power. You can destroy the stones.
Well, whatever. Nearly kills him.
Watch it. And then,
just gotta say, I like the fruit that he has there.
where did your pants go? No.
Nowhere.
And
they're not over there.
They're not on my head.
I'm not wearing the backwards.
Julian, do we need to talk?
Do we need to stop this recording and talk?
Julian? Yeah, shut up. Julian, I think that you have a serious problem. You need to stop peeing on strangers. No.
Wicked boner, bro.
Please stop.
Don't go there, Duncan.
Julian, you're the one who just said it.
You're the one.
This is so like unstable. We need to get on topic. Yeah, so they go pin him down easily. He used the stones to destroy the stones. We need to go through this a little faster. And then they
Thor chops off his head.
Yep, he says
went for the head.
He went for the head.
Nice little joke.
Like he said. So then it's 5 years later, and Ant-Man comes out of the quantum realm.
As Duncan didn't know, he thought it was a pigeon in a cage. It was actually a mouse.
I don't remember these small, minute details as you do, good sir.
It's the only way they were able to stop Thanos.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, shout out to that mice, man. He saved everyone.
Technically he did. If it wasn't for the mice.
Yeah, I mean,
we would have all been dead.
If he didn't go for the head.
So yeah, Ant-Man comes out, confused where he is, and then he goes and looks at all the memorials of, remember...
And he sees his own name.
He sees his own name as well as a couple other like people who had also fallen.
Then he goes home. Sorry. Then he goes home and he sees his daughter 5 years older.
The only one out of his family that has survived.
Yeah, and she's kind of like taking care of herself.
Yeah.
And it's really sad. And so he suggests to Captain America to go back in time before the snap after, getting filled in on everything.
Yeah.
And then they, so they try to get Iron Man. Iron Man has a
thinks
daughter.
Also, Iron Man does not think this is a good idea because he didn't want to mess with quantum physics.
No, and the main reason is because he has a family now.
Yeah.
Him and Pepper have a daughter, and they live on this small little house, and they have a good time. And he loves his daughter, and his daughter loves him 3,000. So,
that's a nice little joke.
Nice little joke it's so sweet. And so
She's so adorable.
They suggest the time travel thing. He immediately shuts it down.
So then they
go to Banner, and it turns out Bruce Banner has figured out how to control the Hulk and be himself. And
he's his own self, but looking as the Hulk.
Like he says, he put the brains and the brawn together, and in the comics, he is known as Professor Hulk. And
I'm still calling him as Bruce Banner.
I like Professor Hulk. And so he's kind of like popular. This kid's coming to take pictures with him.
Yeah.
And so they suggest it with him, and he's like, it's not possible.
He doesn't know how this is.
He doesn't know how it works. And then Iron Man figures it out on his own. Then they prepare for the mission. They train really hard, and they're like,
because they only have one canister of Pym particles left since Professor Pym is now dead.
Yeah, they only have the one Pym particles to get back. To get there and then get back. So they each split up into teams to get certain stones from different points in time.
All right,
like
so
2012 New York, 2014 from Guardians of the Galaxy, and then
just a random time whenever they can go get. And they also have 2000, I believe it's 13 to get the Aether.
Yes.
And the Soul Stone is just. So basically, in 2012, there's 3 stones currently in New York: the Time Stone and being held by the
Mind Stone.
Mind Stone
in the Tesseract.
No, the Mind Stone in the
Tesseract.
The
Scepter. That's right.
And
then that's the Space Stone.
Space Stone in the Tesseract, and then in the Eye of Agamotto is held by
in the Sanctum Sanctorum by the Sorcerer Supreme.
Yes, not Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is still training at the moment.
Yes, and yes.
And so each of them go split off, and then Hulk. This is a really cool scene where with Mr. I can't remember her name. I'm not going to go over that.
You said Mr. It's a
Mistress.
female.
Mistress. I thought it says Mistress. You say the name, please.
I don't know her name.
You said the Sorcerer Supreme.
Oh, Sorcerer Supreme.
Yeah, she basically punches Hulk with his magic and basically knocks his soul out of
And it's cool because it's like his Hulk's body, but with Banner's soul.
Yeah, and so Banner basically tries to convince her, and then she tells about this whole reality thing that can happen with one stone taken out of its spot. Everything else can a whole new reality can come.
Right, and how the time travel basically they can't. The reason that they can't go back in time and just kill baby Thanos is because that would just be a different timeline. That wouldn't be their timeline.
It would be their timeline, but it's themselves then, and everything in the past still happens.
So their reality would stay the same.
Yeah.
So.
And then so Banner eventually gets the Time Stone, and then there's a complication between the Tesseract, as Loki managed to be able to get the Tesseract again and go back to Asgard or wherever he went. No one really knows.
So that's how they're gonna do another.
They were able to get the scepter.
Yeah. And did you hear Thor 4? The next Thor movie is coming out, and I guess we already know what's gonna happen with that.
Yeah, we're gonna go along with that. Go along with those.
I'm sure that's what that was. And I kind of like it now because instead of having good Loki, it's the bad Loki.
Yeah, the bad Loki, that was at the end of the first Avengers.
Yeah, so we should probably speed this up a little more. So they all get their stones, but Nebula gets switched out with the past Nebula that is still loyal to Thanos. So they come back with all the stones, except it's the wrong Nebula, and she opens up the portal back up, and then Thanos' ship comes through with his whole his army,
and no one else notices, and the Banner puts on an Iron Man style gauntlet. Well, it's made out of
they make a new gauntlet to snap everything back, and I really like the way he snaps, and then it doesn't show everyone coming back. It's just you see birds outside, and you get a call from Hawkeye's wife, and it's really cool, and I'm glad that they did that.
We kind of skipped everything. Black Widow dies.
Oh yeah, As you know from Infinity War, they have to retrieve the
a soul
Stone.
for a soul.
Right, so they have a kind of battle, and who
so it's
throws
and
who
it's Hawkeye
off.
and Black Widow there, and then they go against each other, and then
Yes. And then
Black Widow sacrifices herself. But there will be a prequel for Black Widow.
Right, the Black Widow movie. So I mean, it's not the last we're gonna see of her, but
No.
she is officially dead, and she can't be brought back because Banner says later that
he
he
tries
tried
to
to
bring
bring
her
her back.
Jinx, yeah.
You owe me a soda, boy.
Aw.
Give me that soda. Sorry for your sweet little precious ears.
Don't kiss the microphone.
I will kiss the microphone if I dang well please.
Yeah, come on, focus. Wait, keep this going.
So Thanos is in their reality, but it's not the Thanos they
It's
know.
Thanos
'Cause he
2014.
was killed. So the old 2014 Guardians of the Galaxy Thanos is in their reality.
As then, Scott Lang, aka Ant-Man, looks out the window and sees Thanos' ship, and a whole bunch of fire comes down.
Yeah.
And the entire Avengers base is destroyed. Everyone's
Their
separated.
whole like base is destroyed.
And the Infinity Gauntlet is somewhere else.
Yeah.
And so Hawkeye eventually finds it and has to run away from all these Outriders who are still trying to attack.
Yeah, and then Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man face Thanos, and it's a cool battle.
I don't know how like that Thanos is harder, even though he didn't have any of the stones in his grasp.
Well, I mean, they had to make him a worthy adversary.
Yeah,
you know?
but he does have a pretty sick sword.
Yeah, and it breaks Captain America's shield, and Thor is about to be penetrated, and
With the Stormbreaker.
oh yeah, by the way,
when Thor and Rocket go get the ether, he also like right before he leaves,
he gets Mjolnir back.
he gets more
from,
from the past. So he now has Mjolnir and Stormbreaker.
So he's about to be killed by Thanos, and then the Mjolnir just kind of floats, and
Off
it's
the
like
ground.
we're
And so-
like
and
what's
some people kind of thought like Thor was trying to like get Mjolnir back.
yeah, that's what I thought. I thought he was like controlling it without like, trying to hit him.
without like pulling out his hand.
But then we see it go, and someone catches it, and it's none other than Captain America,
Which
and that made my jaw drop.
And there's actually a little scene back in
Age of Ultron.
where like everyone's trying to lift the hammer, and like it slightly nudges
For Captain America.
which kind of hinted off.
And I love how, because I thought the same thing too. Well, I didn't think the same thing, but like I could just tell like when Thor was like, I knew it, because like you saw the look he gave him whenever he slightly nudged it in Age of Ultron. So so he is worthy now, and
then it has this really cool action scene with Captain America destroying,
and then
his shield gets messed up quite a bit.
Yeah, so he's getting like beat down pretty bad, and Captain America like slowly stands up to continue to fight Thanos because they're getting beaten bad, and then a portal opens up, and Black Panther steps out, and
with all of Wakanda,
and it's a Doctor Strange portal, and the Wakandan
and then a whole bunch of
armies,
other portals
and
open
then
up, and then everyone.
I love the still image of it's like you see Doctor Strange in the background like with his cape, and then you see like the Guardians, and then Star-Lord like flies right there.
Yeah.
And, like, that is my. I want to get like a picture of that and like have that as like a poster on my wall. It's so good.
And so everyone
Guardians,
comes out.
I love the Guardians, and Doctor Strange is my favorite. So.
And everyone comes out of these portals.
Everyone who was killed by the snap is back.
And then Captain America says,
"Oh, this scene." I look it up like almost like every day just to rewatch it.
Band screen.
Huh?
It's when you're paying.
That is the moment. That is the moment.
When
it's like panning by all the people who have come back, and he's like, Avengers!
And then they all go after Thanos' giant
No,
army.
hold on, I didn't finish. He's like, Avengers! And then he catches Mjolnir, it goes silent, and he's like, assemble. And then they all just like run at him, screaming against Thanos' huge army, and it's just like with the Avengers theme playing in the background, you know, the dun 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 dun.
Yeah. And Thanos' army at the moment is the Chitauri and the Outriders, as well as all of his quote-unquote kids.
That part whenever, the children of Thanos. The part whenever Ant-Man punches down that big, like, thing from
it's
Avengers.
I don't know what
I don't know what they're called.
I think it's like a transport.
Yeah.
It seems like one of those transports.
That was awesome. And so, anyway, they're like stumbling around to get the Infinity Gauntlet because it still has all the stones in it.
And Scarlet Witch, she's really pissed after Thanos killed Vision.
And so, like, she's like, this scene, I love this scene so much. She's like, you've taken everything from me. And then Thanos like, I don't even know who you are.
and he's like almost like about to die, and then like he orders like a bunch of fire coming down from a ship, and then a whole bunch of fire comes down, and everyone's about to die before Captain Marvel basically destroys the entire ship.
Yeah, and Captain Marvel like goes face to face with Thanos, and then Thanos uses the Power Stone because he has the gauntlet now.
Yeah,
and she's trying to prevent him from snapping his fingers.
Yeah.
And so she's like fighting him. He uses the Power Stone like
he whips it out and then uses it and then punches her.
Yeah, and then all hope was, and then it's just Iron Man and Thanos face to face fighting for the gauntlet.
And Iron Man takes a look at Doctor Strange. He's trying to hold back a bunch of this water.
Yeah.
And he gives a symbol of one as like showing like one ending can occur. So then
this was the only way.
Yeah, the only way that this can end.
And so he he pulls it. Thanos still has it. He has the
Thanos
gauntlet.
tries to
he has the
snap.
gauntlet in his hand, and he does the snap.
But
and nothing happens.
It just sounds like clinking metal.
Yeah, and then he looks, and the stones are gone. And then you cut to Iron Man, and it's like all the stones, and then the gauntlet's forming around his hand. Because like whenever Thanos went to snap his fingers, he's like, I am inevitable. And then they all like the gauntlet's on Iron Man's hand. He's like, and I am Iron Man. And then he snaps his fingers, and then there's like the cool scene of like
all of Thanos' army going away.
And then Thanos just kind of sits down. And he fades away.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I think Thanos' death scene is like really underwhelming. He's like the big baddie of the MCU, building up for like 10 years.
Like the strong, like the.
And I feel like
does the most damage.
The death is kind of the most like unmemorable.
Well, technically, he has 2 deaths.
Right. I think that like his first death that is like that, like just getting his head chopped off, is more memorable than him just sitting there and fading to dust. But
as Iron Man is weakened and he's about to die.
Right. Yeah.
Pepper and
Spider-Man and War Machine go up to him. He's laying there.
James Rhodes,
and he's just sitting there, and he's just like, "We won, Mr. Stark," and he's not responding. And then I love the line that Pepper says when she's like, "We're gonna be okay," and I think that's a really good line because. As someone like Tony who's always like worrying and trying to protect everyone.
At first,
I think that's the best thing that you could say.
Yeah, at first he was all like selfish and like all for himself.
Yeah, I mean,
but that wasn't his first Iron Man movie.
This entire like first chapter of Marvel has been about Iron Man.
Like it's basically like a mostly Iron, because Iron Man's the one that started off and the one that's ended it.
And he's really grown the most.
Yeah, he's had the most grown out of him, and he seems like a very.
I mean, think about Iron Man 1. He was a alcoholic.
Like he was an alcoholic. He was like.
Now he's a
weapons designer, a rich billionaire.
And he didn't have a care in the world.
Yeah, and now he cares for his family, his friends, and everyone in the entire world and universe.
Iron Man, because the power of the stones was too much for him to handle. So
because Bruce Banner got like pretty messed up.
If he wasn't the Hulk, he would have died too.
Yeah, luckily he had gamma radiation on his side to help him out with this one.
So Iron Man dies, and then
there's this ending scene where like everyone, he's like a pan over everyone who was all
at the funeral, and then they go to return the stones with the machine.
As Captain America goes through like a little miniature version of like
to return them all to their realities, their timelines, so that doesn't like mess them up.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't come back, and you see on the bench there's an old man. So he went and he just lived. He just lived his life,
Yeah, he went back to live his life with the love of his life.
Peggy Carter, and they.
I'm surprised you remember that name.
Well, how can you forget Peggy? And they just you just see them dancing, and I'm really happy for him. And he passes the shield down to Sam,
AKA the Falcon.
And I really love that because I have the comics where it's
a nod to the comics where Falcon becomes the new Captain America with his shield.
He's been Captain America for like
a while,
a couple of years now.
Yeah,
since I was for a while. Because the all new Avengers, I love the all new Avengers. The comics series, it's like, it's got Miles Morales, Vision, it's got Thor's a girl. It still has the like Invincible Iron Man, like Mark 51 suit Iron Man. Miss Marvel, I love Miss Marvel, but that's
a brief summary.
It's pretty. It's kind of in depth.
Yeah, like if you want to see it for yourself, go see the movie.
Yeah, please. Again. I beg you to see this movie a second time if possible.
I mean, he saw Infinity War a bunch. And
I saw Infinity War at least 6 times, and I'm probably gonna watch it again this weekend, like Sunday or something. I got nothing to do. Might as well just watch Infinity War. let's go.
And-
I think we should go a little more in depth with the characters. Let's just kind of go one by one. We won't do everyone because there's obviously an insane.
Let's just do it mostly everyone on the screen.
Let's do everyone on screen
Except
for
that's not
it starts with the O. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
So let's start with you said earlier.
Let's do with
Captain
Captain
Marvel.
Marvel.
Yes.
For her being the one that Nick Fury contacted before he snapped away in the end credit scene of Infinity War, she doesn't do everything that. Alright, so I'm gonna go through everything that she does in the movie. She basically rescues Iron Man and Nebula from the middle of space,
Which is that is very important.
And then she destroys Thanos' ship, was also very important because everyone would have died.
Yep.
And then she gets punched by Thanos.
And she prevents him from snapping his fingers the first time. So
and then
she did.
And then she gets punched by Thanos, and then does not much else. She's not really in the movie all that.
But
much.
I mean, and they did shoot. I'm pretty sure. I remember hearing somewhere that they shot Infinity War and Endgame back to back. So like, I think that might be why.
And like they gave you a reason in the movie saying that like she has to go help out these other planets.
Yeah, because she said that there's like the same thing that's happening on Earth is happening.
And they don't
on
have the
every
Avengers
planet.
to help out.
Yeah, and so. I mean, it kind of makes sense. I mean, I don't really like her as a character that much. Yeah. She seems kind of like.
But have you seen Captain Marvel?
I have not seen Captain Marvel.
Okay, well, I guess you. Yeah. I guess it'd be good to see that.
That is the only Marvel movie I have not seen, and I really should get around to doing that.
Oh yeah, with Ant-Man and the Wasp, the only thing important from that entire movie is just the end credit scene. Showing him being stuck in the quantum realm and Hank Pym and everyone and Hope and all of them just.
Yeah, disappearing.
Yeah.
All right, so how about Hawkeye?
Sure, since he had a very important role.
This was his best that he's ever been.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm just like laughing at him, like, haha, silly man with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, how's he supposed to do this much?
But I mean, he was, you see him in Tokyo, he's kind of like snapped.
Like.
Snap, get it?
Yeah, like after his family, he basically became like a murderer.
Assassin.
Yeah,
like just to get out his
As he was
rage.
a hood villain with swords and I believe he still had his bow.
Tokyo, he was like killing.
Yeah, he was in Mexico and also in Tokyo. Mexico mission by James Rhodes, aka War Machine.
Yep.
And then because Black Widow basically snaps him out of it, he comes back to the Avengers and helps them out. And he's the one that finds the Infinity Gauntlet and gets it a good chunk of the way towards.
Yeah, I think this was his best. This was the best that I've seen him in a movie.
He's done the most.
He was in Thor. He was in. I think. He was in Thor, right? I think he was. He was in the first Thor because I remember there was a scene where like he was in like a weapons closet and he reached for a gun and instead of getting a gun he just grabbed a bow and arrow. Yeah, it may have been Dark World. I'm pretty sure it was the first Thor.
Maybe the first Thor, but he's only been.
But he was not that good in that role.
Yeah, he was in the original Avengers, Age of Ultron, and Civil War, but he was in no other one. Other times he's been mentioned.
That actor is in 2 Mission Impossible movies. He's in Ghost. I think it's something Ghost, like Ghost Recon or something, and then Rogue Nation. He's in those 2. And I like his actor, but he was good in this movie. How about Ant-Man? Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay, and Ant-Man, well, he also had a big role because he was the one that basically dawned on the idea of using quantum physics to help get all the stones.
Yeah, very important.
As Ant-Man is introduced after a mouse opens the keyboard, he's chucked out of the back of that van.
I mean, Ant-Man was Ant-Man, He was funny, he was delivering quips, and I enjoyed him.
He was sort of like a miniature comic relief, especially when they started trying out using the quantum realm. Yeah. As throughout that, he became a baby, an old man, and like a child.
Mm-hmm. So for Rocket,
Rocket Raccoon didn't have a big role.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't really see much of Rocket, so I mean, I like Rocket. He's not my favorite Guardian, but he was cool.
He's definitely like the comic relief of the Guardian.
Not
comic relief.
They're all pretty much comic relief. Like,
but Rocket's more or less like the.
They're just like their entire team is comic relief.
Yeah, he's like the greedy man.
Not much to say about him. Black Widow.
Didn't do all that.
What about Black Widow?
Black Widow had.
She's the one who introduced the tagline of the movie, "Whatever it takes."
Yeah.
And she proved that by sacrificing herself.
Yeah, because like she didn't like this is basically like finishing up because like before we all like tried making like guesses on who all was gonna die. No one.
Sorry about that, guys. The software messed up real quick. But we were talking about Black Widow.
Yeah, like, I was talking about like how we were all making guesses on who was gonna die. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of us guessed that Black Widow since like the contract was up. We all. Well, suspected.
I mean, she had another movie, but like it was gonna be a prequel.
It's also I believe it's a different actor for her.
No, I don't know. If it's like a younger her.
Yeah,
then
it would be a younger her. It's a different actor.
Actress.
Yeah, actress. Like basically most of the main Avengers except for Bruce Banner, like most of the contracts are up. Like Black Widow's Captain America's, Iron Man's, and Thor, their contracts are just about up.
Thor has, I think, one more movie. Because they already confirmed Thor 4.
Yeah, and since Thor also still has to, like, continue on. And Bruce Banner still has, like, a movie or two left to go on his contract.
Right. Yeah, I think it was, like, he has, like, 2 more movies.
Yeah, after this one.
Yeah. What do you think about Banner?
Banner had he was basically the... Like he said, he was the brains, and he was a good chunk of the brains for the entire movie. He was the one giving a bunch of suggestions.
There wasn't much, like, Hulk action. Like, that's why I keep referring to him as Banner, because, you know...
Yeah, because he's more Banner in this movie than he is Hulk.
Exactly.
Like, that's what people have been making complaints about. There's not really much Hulk.
I'm not really complaining.
I've heard of complaints about Banner and Hulk and all that.
What do you think about Fat Thor? Like, sad, depressed... Obviously, he's in denial.
Yeah.
He's depressed, and he's denying
it's like the stages of, like, it's like the stages of depression.
Yeah.
In a way.
Mm-hmm. And he's acting like he's moved on,
like
but really...
He's drunk.
Yeah, he's drinking all the time. He's playing Fortnite.
Well, his friends are playing Fortnite. We never really see him playing Fortnite.
No, he was. You can just assume.
Yeah. Like, he's been, like, in the new Asgard on Earth for, like, a good chunk of time.
Hold on real quick. Gonna take this call. Sorry for the unprofessionalism. Be right back. Sorry about that, guys. Phone interruption. You know, if it's a call from your parents, you just gotta take it, or else they're just gonna yell at you, so.
Hey, you take it and you can't leave it.
Yeah. We were talking about Fat Thor. He's in denial.
He doesn't look fat in this picture right
Right.
here.
I think
you always
they should have done more to make his face look fat, because he still looks, like, in shape, but his body, it just looks like he has a pillow in his shirt, really.
Yeah.
But,
well, his hair's also different than it is on here. Like, his hair's a lot longer, and he has, like,
he's just doesn't take care of himself anymore. But,
maybe after now he does.
I kind of like him. I don't hate him like some people do, but I just think that, it's, like, a realistic look on, like, loss, and that's how people really do react to
because
sadness.
Thor basically lost his... he lost all of the Asgardians.
Yep.
Like, all that's left is just his couple pals, Valkyrie.
His brother, his dad, his sister...
Yeah.
And everyone else.
Well, is Loki really dead?
Well, to him, he's dead.
Yeah, well, he's been tricked. We've been tricked before with, like, Dark World and all that, so we don't know if he's really done or not.
Yeah. So,
and that'll be.
It's interesting how, like, we see each character how they deal with depression.
Yeah.
And
like
Stark. Like in Captain America's like group that he has.
Yeah. Like Rocket taking over the loss of all of his family. That the only family that he had.
Yeah.
Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Black Widow. Thor,
yeah, like everyone... Hawkeye. I mean, Banner seemed to not like be okay.
Well, Banner didn't really have much of a family that we knew of.
No, but still, I mean, those were still his friends.
Yeah.
Like he lost. Who did Banner lose that he was close to?
Black Widow.
No, I mean, I'm talking about like the snap.
Oh.
Like, because they're all mourning the losses from.
But no one really. I don't think he really lost anyone.
Exactly. So I mean, and that's kind of realistic, He's like, that's it's a bad situation, but he's gonna go back to the way life was, and he's happy.
He's the one that basically had no real effect. Had no real effect on him.
Hawkeye is devastated, and he's taking it out with the rage, and then, what do you think about Nebula and War Machine? Because they were kind of clustered together.
Yeah.
I think Nebula, I don't really like Nebula that much usually, but I mean...
Nebula basically had a good role.
She was tolerant.
Yeah, she had a good role turn in this one. She cracked a nice joke with Ant-Man saying, like, there's an idiot on the runway when James was coming down.
Yeah. You remember a lot of, like, really small details.
Because I like to remember really small details.
You've seen it twice.
Yes.
So, and War Machine as well. War Machine is War Machine.
Yeah.
Let's get down to the big two, or big three actually. Let's start with Captain America.
Captain America had
a really big role.
Yeah, he was like the true captain of this one.
Yeah, and he, like I said, the hammer scene that just made me swoon.
Like him trying to take the losses.
He's trying to help other people.
Yeah, he's helping other people because he didn't really lose anyone since like all of his family except for Bucky, all his family and friends except for Bucky was like already gone.
And Sam, Bucky and Sam.
Oh yeah, but Sam didn't really have a close enough tie as Bucky did to
I mean, they were.
Sam
both...
had more of a tie to War Machine as James was like asking where Sam was.
Well, no, I think it's just because they were like with each other at the time, and he didn't know where he went. No, but
yeah, like
Captain America and like Falcon are like buds.
Yeah, but more or less, like Bucky was more or less his childhood bud, and then became a brainwashed.
Yeah, right.
Hooligan.
And I felt, yeah. So how about Thanos? What do you think about him?
Oh, Thanos, like
this wasn't his. He was the best character in Infinity War.
Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about Infinity War Thanos. Basically in the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Can't say the same.
Like Thanos, basically like the way he's introduced, like it's him like picking some like whatever kind of like plants he's picking and he's making a stew in his little like garden house that you saw in the end of Infinity War. Mm-hmm. And out of nowhere, he's just instantly killed. Like he says he treats Nebula too hard, as like it's actually a memory that's like repeated a couple times where Nebula. Because her hard drive moved around. Because of like all the weird time and all that. Yeah,
so he's not as good as he was in Infinity War, but I mean he's still the best villain in Marvel. Yeah. Marvel doesn't really have the best track record for having good villains, except for Loki.
Infinity War, like Thanos seemed a little like we kind of like wouldn't support Thanos away because he had to like lose his like he'd lose his daughter to get a stone.
Relatable.
Like he had to like lose like basically had to lose like one he loved first to complete his destiny. But like in this one, Thanos is more or less like in this mostly in this movie, Thanos is more or less he's got to like he doesn't care too much about his kids. He's like the one he's got to get the stones because this is back in 2014. We didn't have like too much of a connection on his.
I mean, he's always had a connection.
He's had a connection, but we didn't really see it too much.
Right. Yeah, it isn't presented as much. So Man, Iron Man, MVP of this movie.
Iron Man had like
he was great.
Yeah, like he lost his surrogate son, and then he got an actual daughter with Pepper, and then he lived a nice life.
They teased that at the beginning of Infinity War.
Yeah, when they were arguing over children.
Right.
And like actually, what Pepper says is like in order to actually like have a child Iron Man needs to like lose his. Basically Iron Man style. Like he needs to settle down, and that's exactly what he does. Yeah, he did, and then he gets brought back in the action to finish up. And he's that's it for the characters. Yeah. So I think that's. Any more thoughts? Not really. We've covered over the characters, the plot,
and we did spoiler free. All that. If you haven't already, please watch Endgame. But
Endgame and many other movies you choose to.
Sorry if the quality isn't perfect.
This is our first episode. It's got to start off.
Thank you so much for listening.
Actually, we got to do a recommendation.
We'll do that at the very end. Thank you so much for listening to the Squishy Podcast. It's the first episode. Please, I really hope that you guys will support us with this. This is really fun. I've had a great time. This first episode, talking about movies with my friend, and we are going to, after this, literally right after this, we're gonna go watch a movie, and we're going to review it, and I'm gonna let my best friend Julian suggest.
Since I'm a nice little guest on this one. Well, I'm a part of this, but this is the first time I've been on the Squishy Dude channel.
I'm gonna let you suggest. What movie are you gonna suggest for us to watch and review on the next episode 2, which will come out next Saturday.
Heard some good ideas about this one. Why not let's do Get Out.
Alright. Alright, Julian suggests Get Out. We are going to go rent that on Amazon Prime, and that'll be the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back next week with episode 2, Get Out.
See you guys.
Bye!